Ready, set, go.
I may portray myself as someone who can talk and someone who can socialize, but if you put me in a crowd and I'm new, I wouldn't take the first step to go talk to someone. But if it's a one-on-one conversation and I know that there's some background or some kind of relationship we had before this, then I would take the time to initiate the conversation, but I won't be the first one to talk if I'm new in the group.
I am on the opposite scale of being quiet. I love talking. I love meeting people, and my wife always says that sometimes it can be annoying, but she enjoys that part of me because she's an introvert, and I make her feel very comfortable when in the midst of a crowd. Yeah, that's me.
I want to make people comfortable, but if there are other people in the room, I will let them take the front stage. But if there are introverts in the room, then I will try to start the conversation. I think because of the nature of what I do at work, I do a lot of consulting, so there's a lot of talking there already. So when I come to a normal social space, I just want to chill out, want to enjoy the conversations, enjoy what's been happening.
I grew up using a lot of technology, so a lot of miscommunication does not actually come from the conversations, but it's coming from the platform. And when you're always talking to someone through the internet, you don't actually can show your true intentions and your true feelings, maybe just through emojis, but that's about it.
Carmen, yeah, I mean like one thing I mean because right now I'm leading a group of people in my company. But you know, sometimes I find it a little bit of a struggle because I am leading people at your generation who grew up in technology, and I think their way of communication is send a text first and then probably only think about calling me like much later to explain something. So like I mean I just want to understand, like, do you think like in your generation right now that is it because you're not used to calling someone, or is it because you feel that you're able to express yourself better with technology?
I feel that it is more of a place where our generation can hide. It's because we text, it's because we know that we can mask our words and we can alter the way we speak in order to please someone. So when we start actually calling and actually telling and explaining, we're just afraid that the judgment that can come from it. So we rather just go through the text and read it, and then we can keep the emotions to ourselves, even if we're judged with a reply that we don't like.
As a mother, I just want to have a conversation, and a lot of times I misunderstood them because they thought I can read mind. Okay, I'm not sure about whether it's only my kids or really the teens of conversation. So they said, "Mommy, you should know what I want." I said, "I don't. You have to tell me." That's why a strong conversation at home is actually really important. I know you can text your friends with an emoji, but you can't show your emoji on your face. You know, sometimes the only thing they can show on the face is like the anger. Then for me to ask, what's wrong? And we can't text each other in the living room. I think that's why. I think your mom was wondering what is happening, why you texting me in the same room. So that's why I really love to have at least a conversation, or at least call a friend if you do not know a question in school. Then you wait 3 hours for the answer, or to exchange views. So that's why misunderstanding is so easily cultivated in this generation of my kids. I know, Carmen, I know you're in that teens, but I'm trying to understand them right now, you know, to get a little bit here and there so that I can be in their world and also bring them out a little bit from their world.
I noticed that conversations that I have with people and the people who are
open to having open conversations as well. Allows me to feel like, okay, maybe I'm not alone in this. Maybe if you can get through it, then I can see myself doing that as well.
I chose slightly agree because I felt like openness comes with varying degrees of relationship. So it's hard to be open with someone that you just met today, but at the same time, I understand that being open creates that relatability or like understanding of where someone is coming from or sharing ideas. So I feel like being open is, especially in today's world where you don't know what people's motives are or you know what intentions people have, it's really hard to be open as much as it's needed to happen for conversation to happen. So yeah, that's I choose to be open depending on the relationship with the person.
I'm open to share my own stories or my own life because we're all not perfect, we all make mistakes. But sometimes that sharing brings somewhat of a releasing or healing if there was a problem.
Yeah. There's this thing called emotional bank account. So when you're investing into someone's emotional bank account, the same thing will be reciprocated per se. Yeah, it will be done in the same way as well, and then you are able to build stronger relationships. Yeah, very deep and meaningful conversations.
When it comes to my kids, they all speak at the same time. So it's very difficult for me to engage a conversation with my elder son, right? And trying to get what he's trying to say. And at the same time, my younger one is asking me, I want this one, I want that. So it's like I have to switch and I ask him to hold on, but I will come back. Sometimes I forgot to come back, you know? So it's like, it's a struggle for me as a parent to have everybody talk at the same time.
When I was in HR, people come tell me all their problems, and that career line has really helped me to be focused because there's only just two of us in the room, and you can't fake it lah. Like people know when you're faking, either you're like typing on something else or you're looking at your phone. So sometimes I think posture or not just listening, but the way you react, your expressions all play a part as well.
Being from a young generation, attention span is already an issue for all of us, you know. So unless your story is captivating, you know, it's already not going to be with me already. But it's something I've actually been training myself to do, to be more present in a situation or in a conversation when, like, I'll try and give an example where you're trying to like give a friend advice, right? You start thinking of, when it happened to you, or like how you would react, instead of probably trying to understand where your friend is in that situation now and what type of advice they actually need from you. So I think it's something that we all need to learn or like to grow or progress towards, because it's important.
I am happy with the conversation in my life thus far.
I think I do have really good conversations, but I think on my part, I can learn to be more open, more comfortable in sharing my thoughts, because I don't express as easily, usually more of the quiet ones. So I think that's something that I'll work towards, being more open, being more open, sharing more, talking more,
You know, since coming to a new country, I was forced to actually start communicating with people, get understanding, because probably things like the hospital or something, when I was back home, my mom would be the one talking to the counter, but now it's me, you know, I'm handling most of the aspects of my life, and it's good to know that I'm progressing towards meaningful relationships and conversations, but at the same time, you start noticing where you fell short when you start understanding what meaningful conversation should be. I think meaningful conversations lead to better life decisions, better choices of like understanding as well as yourself as the other person, and I feel like meaningful conversations will lead to like growth in terms of like relationships as well. And I think good relationships build good communities, good nations, as well as just a well-rounded person.
Words are very special, they're very impactful, and when I was at missions and we were visiting the HIV center, and we were encouraged to talk to the people who were actually there, who are patients. And I would say that although the conversations were a bit difficult because he was speaking in Mandarin and I wasn't very fluent in Mandarin, but I could still understand somewhat of what he was saying. And by even listening to what he has to say, he has actually so much in his heart that he's holding back. And he was telling me about his family and his parents not being supportive, or his children not coming to visit him, but he doesn't want to visit his children because he doesn't want to burden the children. And just being that person, listening and talking to these kind of people really makes me realize that you can, even just by talking, you can make someone feel so much better even though they're in a very, very tough situation. Yeah, so it made me realize to have more, appreciate the conversations that we have around us and appreciate the people when we're talking to others. It's because sometimes you won't get that time anymore, and when you get busy, you can't really meet those people anymore, you can't really converse anymore.
There are times when I'm just a touch and go kind of person, touch and go kind of conversations, and that will happen. But in the times when you need to have that deep, meaningful conversations, how can we do it in good time? Maybe it's asking the right questions, asking powerful questions that will then draw out the conversation rather than needing to spend hours just to have a good conversation. Yeah, so that's something I'm still discovering and learning. I think having meaningful conversations doesn't just mean spending a lot of time together.
I'm at this line, I hope to be at that line, but I feel that at times, because I think a lot of the details, I have so many barriers, so many components I put into having a conversation, and I think I want to be open, and I don't want to replay the conversations, because you become better at it. That's what you say. Yeah, you have meaningful conversations because you become more and more better at conversing with people, and the more you do it, you realize you open yourself, you open your heart to people, and that's where you'll be able to have really good, meaningful conversations.
And we're done.